What's going on, guys? It's Dustin with Custom Offsets, and today we've got a pretty awesome video for you. So we get asked all the time, what is the difference between like a 9 wide and a 10 wide and a 12 wide or even a 14 wide wheel? So we thought that we'd actually put it together for you, and we're gonna show you real life examples of a 9, 10, 12, and 14 wide wheel on my truck behind me here. It's a 2007 Chevy Silverado 2500 HD Duramax. You guys have seen it. We did a build series on it. It's got a 4.5-inch BDS lift kit. So like I said, we have wheels and tires in here for all 4 wheel widths. The tires are either going to be 33s or 35s or a variant of that, like a 285/55, for example. So it's all going to be pretty consistent in terms of overall sizing. But we're going to actually tear into this thing. We're going to start with a 9 wide. We're going to show you what a 9, a 10, a 12, and a 14 wide looks like, so you guys can get a good idea of what the actual offset differences are. Now, before we do that, I got to remind you guys, if you need wheels, tires, suspension, performance parts, accessories, bumpers, lighting, all that good stuff, we have it all. CustomOffsets.com. Also, we're giving away a SEMA truck. It's pretty freaking awesome. It's huge. It's a big F350, and we're donating to the Warrior Built Foundation, which is super cool. You check all that out, tapping the link down below, or CustomOffsets.com/giveaway. So with that, let's get my truck pulled in. We'll rattle the 9 wides on it, and we'll get started. All right, guys, so we're gonna get started with the 9 wides behind me here, but before we do that, I know someone's inevitably gonna comment down below, oh, the set is different, or oh, he's wearing a different t-shirt. Yes, we got rained out yesterday, so we're working through that. However, I've got the set of 9 wides mounted on the Duramax behind me here, so if you guys wanna follow me in, we'll take a look at it a little bit. So this is a 17x9 set of Anthem Intimidators. So paired with it is a set of 285/70 R17 Kenda Cleaver RTs, one of the hottest tires we've seen this year to date. And this one, guys, is gonna come out to be about 32.5 by 11.5 wide, give or take. So this is actually Brad's set of wheels for his Duramax, and this is the look he's going for, really functional, really off-road look. So when you look at this 9 wide, guys, you're gonna notice that when it comes to offset, right, to poke, you really don't have that much. You're talking 4.5 inches, somewhere in there. So not a ton of poke on this setup, obviously because that 9 wide has such a low offset that it's tucked in there really nice. This one actually scared the hell out of me. I backed my truck out of the shop before, and for the first time, I could see my exhaust tip in my rearview mirror, which I've never been able to see before because I've always been on 14 wides, and I actually stopped and got out and checked because I thought something was broken. So we did that, but we're here. So again, this is what a 9 wide is going to look like, that nice tucked in profile. If this is what you're looking for, definitely gonna do the job for you. I get full lock, turn to turn, no issues with this. And yeah, just a really good, super functional looking tire. But that's enough out of this one. Let's roll this thing back in the shop. We've got a 10 wide to go on it here, and then a 12 wide, then a 14 wide. So there's a ton to go yet, and then we'll talk about them all once we're done. All right, guys, so after a quick wheel and tire change, which maybe wasn't so quick, but you know, we got it done. We have the 10 wides on my truck. This is a 20x10 set of Anthem Equalizers, and if it looks familiar, it's because it is. When I first bought my Duramax, this is the very first set of wheels and tires that we put on it. So it's 20x10 minus 24 Anthem Equalizers, one of my favorite wheels in the Anthem off-road lineup, paired with a 285/55 R20 Cooper Discoverer AT3 XLT, which is a whole freaking mouthful, but it's their all-terrain tire. One of my favorite tires, does fantastic. I drove it all winter in the snow last year and it absolutely crushed it. So enough about that. Come on in, let's take a look at it here. Let's actually dive into the offset and see how it looks on the truck. So again, a 285/55 R20, it's about 33 inches in diameter, a little short at 32.4, I believe, in about 12 wide. So really a nice stout tire. 10 wide Anthem off-road wheel, minus 24. One of the coolest things about this wheel that I absolutely adore is that not only is it only a 10 wide, but it still gets you from the center of the spokes a solid 4.5 inches of lip. So for a 10 wide, this is gonna be one of the most aggressive wheels you're gonna find. Those spokes kind of dive back a little bit and it gives you another 1/2 inch worth of lip. Really makes this wheel look a lot wider than it is. In terms of offset, right, that you can see 6.5, 6 3/4, somewhere in there. So a little bit wider than the 9 wide we looked at, but not quite as wide as the 12 wide that we're gonna look at here in just a moment. So super cool look. Again, a little bit more aggressive. It does look a little small in my truck with the 4.5-inch lift, but when this truck was stock, it cleared almost entirely from the factory with just this little bit of bumper trim. So if you're looking to do a little trimming, not looking to lift your truck any, a 10 wide may be a good option for you. Again, just in terms of the Silverado, everyone's gonna have a little bit different fitment. So that's enough out of this. We're gonna roll her back in the shop again, slap some 12 wides on her, go from there. All right, guys, so we got the 12 wides on the truck behind me. These are a 20x12 Anthem Liberty paired with a 35-12.5 R20 Landspider Wildtrax MT, one of the most popular tires we've seen in a long time, and a really cool wheel. So if you guys want to follow me in here, we'll kind of check them out a little bit. So again, this is gonna be the Anthem Liberty, super cool wheel. It's got this nice concave face, and in a 12 wide, you still get a couple inches of lip here, which is actually one of the coolest designs for wheels that I've seen in quite some time. So you're gonna get about 3.5 inches of lip on this 12 wide, plus all the concavity, big center cap, looks super cool. Again, 35-12.5 R20 Landspider Wildtrax MTs. So here's the cool thing about these 12 wides. It's gonna give you a solid 6 inches of poke outside of the fender well. Now again, you're gonna hear me say this again and again and again. This is a Cat Eye Silverado, so it's gonna be a little bit different for every wheel setup you guys put on different trucks. But on this one, you're gonna see it's gonna give you about 6 inches of poke, which is quite a bit more than the 10 wide or even the 9 wide we looked at earlier. So there's that one. We're gonna get this back in the shop now, guys. We're actually gonna take a look. We're gonna rattle these off. We're gonna put some 14 wides on it and see how much poke we've got going on with that. So behind me, after one really sweaty wheel change, because it is cold but hot today, it's really weird. I sweat anyway, we finally put the 14 wides on my truck. So behind me is a set, my set of 22x14 Fittipaldi FTF13s. They're in polished, don't judge me, they're a little bit dirty right now. Just got back from Gatlinburg, and yeah, 1,500 miles is a lot. Anyway, on them is a set of 355 40 or 22 Nitto trail grapplers. So that's Nitto's mud tire, of course. A 355 40 comes out to a 33.2 by 14 inches wide. So it's a really, really square setup. So if you follow me on in here, you can see how absolutely beefy this thing is. Like, it is, I've seen square setups, but this is like square. Like, it is massive. When you take the tape to it and look at it here from the edge of the fender or the bumper here, you can see we have roughly 10.25 inches of total wheel poke, which is freaking wild. So again, 22x14 minus 76 offset on these guys here. So it's really gonna push that wheel and tire out. And because it's a 14 wide, it's gonna be massive out here. So it's freaking wide, it's really huge. These tires are a little dirty. I suppose I could have cleaned them up for you, but don't judge me. It's like October 13th at this point. It's spooky season. It's kind of cold. It's dreary today. So this is the 14 wide. It looks fantastic. And honestly, I think I'm going to run this setup for a while. I'm a huge fan of this. This is the setup I wanted when I built the truck. So absolutely in love with it. All right, guys, so let's wrap it up here. Let's take a look at the actual side-by-side comparison of the 9, 10, 12, and 14 wide. So I'm gonna have the guys put the image up on the screen here. So when you start, you can start all the way on the one side. You can see the 9 wide there, right? Really narrow, really tucked in. We know that. We saw that on the actual truck itself. And even during the install, we saw how much more tucked in that 9 wide was. Now that's because of two reasons, right? Number one, that wheel is so much narrower than the 10, 12, and 14 wides, but also it has a much lower offset, meaning that the center of that wheel is going to be closer to the actual mounting location than some of the other wheels. Now, as you move up in here, you're going to see that when you go from the 9 to the 10 wide, that you get a little bit more poke, and that's partially because you go up to a 10 wide, but also because you're going to a minus 24, which is unique to those Anthem Equalizers that we put on the truck there. So a little bit deeper of an offset, right? A little bit more negative, which is going to push that wheel a little bit further out of the truck. Then as you move up to the 12 wide, you go to a -44 offset, which again, you're gonna see that wheel stick out farther, right? And it's a twofold instance here because you're dropping offset, you're going further down by 20 millimeters, right? So you're pushing the center of the wheel out 20 millimeters farther, and you're going up another 2 inches to a 12 wide, and that tire is a 12.5 wide as well, so it is a little bit wider. When we go up to the big boy setup, right, the 14 wides on the 355 40s, which is absolutely insane, very square, looks super cool. That setup is gonna have a ton of poke, it's gonna have the most that we looked at, and again, 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is because that wheel is a -76 offset, meaning it's gonna push the wheel out even further than the -44, the -24, or that 17x9, which is super, super close to 0. In addition to that, you're also gonna see that 355 40, which is really, really square, and it's gonna give you additional poke on the outside. I hope this really helped you guys take a look and actually visualize what the different offsets and different wheel widths look like. Again, quick disclaimer, it's gonna look different on every truck. The newer Silverados, for example, are really tucked in compared to my Cat Eye Silverado. It depends on which lift kit you're on, if you have narrow and wide track widths. However, the offset differences aren't going to change to the mounting surface. So for best results, we do recommend actually measuring on your truck and seeing what's going to physically fit. If you have questions, you can check out the gallery. Super helpful tool. It's got all the examples that you guys are gonna need. What do you guys think of this video? Let us know down in the comment section below. Was it helpful or not? Let us know if you like this kind of stuff. Let us know about that too, and we'll make some more of it. With that, I'm Dust with the Custom Offsets. You guys need wheels, tires, and suspension, performance parts, bumpers, lighting, headlights, taillights, you know it, customoffsets.com. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.